And we're here. I know everybody waited really long and hard for this, but we made it. Assuming none of this content is inappropriate, everybody has clothes. Hope nothing gets kicked off, so we're going to do our best here. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing well and delicious. I am certainly doing fabulous. It is Wednesday, hump day, and that means great things, right? I hope so. How's everybody else doing today? I know you want me to get right to the point, but I figured I might drag this intro on just a little bit longer. I'm just kidding. Any hoozles. I one more window open. Trying to lollygagging out of the way here. Oh, hey, Tony. Fantastic. Happy to have you. Also on another platform over here. So I'm just going to get all the platforms going here. So this way everything works. And I can answer all the questions. Hoping there might be a few today. And I came ready. And now, I'm going to preface this with a little bit of hopefully some surprise. And the surprise is that through my entire experience of working in photography and Photoshop and all of the fun things here, that there has come a point in time where every single place I've ever worked at, we've gotten to the point where you'd meet another retoucher or work with another person and you'd be like, hey, how do you mask out your hair? What's the fastest way for you? And it's somewhat subjective. It really kind of is based on what your specific skill set is. Some people are good with masking. Some people are good with brushing. Some people are good with the path tool. Some people are good with. It depends on what you do. What works best for you. I am one of those people, and I think this kind of came from having done movie posters, where it just needs to look like the way that it was shot, right? Like it just needs to look good. It needs to look clean. Like this is the closest from when I shot. By the way, I just want to thank Kelsey for this is a misdone on Instagram, for letting me use these photos. She had helped me with a personal project. I, in return, shot portraits of her, and so on and so forth. And so we had kind of done a trade. And yeah, I thought some of the stuff that I have of her is perfect. You know, you got shallow depth of field. You've got all this detail in here. And hair is crazy, right? But it is interesting. And the secret is that, to me, there's no secret. It's kind of like magic when you see a trick and you're like, I wonder how they did that. And it's like the most obvious possible way. Same thing here. The most obvious possible way to make hair look good is to just get rid of it and brush it back in. And I picked some of the harder stuff here that I have, and I hope I have enough time today to kind of go over everything. That's why I did start this early-ish, but we will see. So we have a few images in here. This, I believe this is shot at, let me look here. This is shot at 3.5. So there's a lot of fall off. Just her eyelashes are in focus, and then it just falls off that way immediately. One day, if you guys are nice, I'll go over how to light stuff like this, which is which is something I ripped off from another photographer by the name of Eric Hillard. I owe you. I saw him do this in college, and I've been using it ever since. He was like, you literally did the exact same thing I did, and I'm like, yeah. So you don't do that. You don't rip off people directly, and you add your own spin to it. So Eric Hillard, thank you. Apologize for that moment in college where you were like, I did that. So this hair in particular is also great. This kind of gives you an idea. It's just slightly softer here because she's got a little bit of movement. Same thing, I believe, with this. Oh, this one's pretty good here. So I'll show you how to get rid of all this stuff. This one was so this stuff was shot in my studio with literally like a shop light, right? And this is a portrait, same type of thing, shot slightly soft, and you get to see kind of the hair go out of focus, and we'll go over how to do that. So there's kind of multiple ways. You can do motion blur, you can do lens blur. It's kind of whatever works for what the image is, right? So with that said, you probably want me to get started, huh? So I think we'll start with probably the more straightforward of these, which to me would be, see if I zoom in here. Again, if you have any questions as I go along and do this, please ask. We're all here because we want to know, right? And I don't think that there are any secrets in what we do. There's literally just technique. And the rest is creativity, right? Isn't that what it's all about? Who's the most creative? Your ideas are really what kind of drives the content. Am I taking too long to get started here? Feeling a little lazy today. I feel like my mic has been kind of messing with me, but I'm going to try and I brought it up more so it's in front of my face, in front of my mouth, so hopefully this does myself a favor. You as well. Alrighty then. Without further ado, let's get this started. So, I look at this thing, right? And let's see what the Photoshop, I shot this before this tool is really here, the object selection tool. Let's see what this kind of gives us here. This will actually cut out the object. Ish. That's what we like. That's what we expect. We'll do that. Now, one thing I want to do here is we'll do the 50% gray background. We have all the different colors. And that's really kind of the key when I'm doing this, is I like to use all the different colors. So this way, I know that if I put this on white, if I put this on black, if I put this on whatever, it'll still show up and read, because I've shot stuff on white that won't read on black and vice versa. So it's a thing. You gotta see what you're up to here. You see, this image looks completely almost like junk on white, right? I'm gonna throw some curves on here. Low gradient. I'm gonna gradient this down. Okay. What I do want to do here is I just want to double check. All right, yeah. Really good. All right, back to here. And I'm going to go back to using a solid color background as well for black. This is complete 100% black. What I'll actually do is I'm going to pull this back tiny bits. Okay. You know what I'll also do is actually, essentially here, I'm going to pull up like a location that I shot. 3ds Max projects, stock, domes and backplates. Here we go. Backgrounds. pull up something here that we shot that we could drop her onto. I'm looking straight on. Usually I like stuff that's slightly darker. Let's go with this. Probably drop her onto this road here. Something super simple. All right. Process this. Bring down the highlights here so we have some detail. We need to open up the shadows. Yeah, sure. Open. We'll bring this into our the background here. Interesting. This is a different size. Considering they were shot with different. Just for the sake of continuity, I'll just throw a little bit of light on here. Looks like it was kind of shot at the same. I have to deal with this. Same problem I had yesterday. Make a new layer, do a gradient on it, because I just want to transform the gradient. Control click, or actually make that a little bit bigger. Click. We'll use that as our mask on here, and then I can just transform this individually. There we go. Rob, today we're gonna do you a solid, and we're gonna fix all of your hair problems. So I'm gonna show you literally the easiest. It's not the easiest. It's the only way to do. So oh yeah, and we'll do a whole thing here on shadows and whatnot. How those things work. A whole other ball of wax here. Super quiet because I'm focused. It's always the hardest part. We won't do a thing on how to do shadows. Just kidding. All right. There we go. There we go. It's almost like she's lit there, but she's not. So I'm gonna put this just on her. All right. And we'll kind of scale up the background just a tiny bit more. Just to kind of fit the scene here better. There. All right. So here, that's the whole reason we're here. Okay. We just kind of roughed out this area here with her. Go back in with my brush. My main hard is never 100% hard. It's just 90%. So we're going to kind of go in here. Plus, she's got a little bit of movement in her. Just kind of shift clicking my way around this. Here. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate her. I'm going to turn it off. So that way I have the original hair mask, or the original hair that was there. Right? You're probably wondering right now, oh my God, when's he going to actually mask the hair? Well, we're getting there, guys. So everybody needs to relax a little bit. It's hump day. So since she's not fully soft right there, we're going to go 70 here. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're masking, the bigger your brush goes, the softer your edges get. So I can go bigger here, and then this gets even softer. It's not proportionate to the scale, the size of the brush. As you get bigger, it gets softer. Shift clicking my way through all this stuff here. Certainly picked a hard one. His hair like this, all motiony and stuff. I wonder if the other one had better. This one has less movement in the hair. Let's do this one just for the sake, so that way it makes sense. Bring this one in here. Let's see, it's flipped to her. We don't want that. Just flipped here. Let's try the mask tool here. There we go. We'll have a different shadow. What the hell did I do here? I didn't make. That's right. Just moved her mask. Solid color. Here we go. Flip vertical. There we go. I do this. Throw a little gradient in here. Make this a little bit more natural. I like that she's darker there. This is just some of the glow from the sun in there. Don't go too crazy. I might actually even. All right. Where were we? That'll be easier. One thing I want to do is I want to add grain in here. I'm going to filter, edit fill, 50% gray. overlay, filter, not that. As I would in every image I work on. Gaussian, monochromatic, okay. Filter blur, Gaussian blur, 0.3. 0.2, let's do 0.2. 78%. Perfect. So now it just adds a little bit of film grain and actually makes it look slightly sharper. Come back into here to her. Mask her out. I'm actually going to go, this is slightly sharper, so I'm going to go 80. Unfortunately, I have a newborn, so I have to step away for just a moment. So, be patient. Thank you. I will be literally right back. Guys, to make sure I didn't have any Sharpie on my face. So, I'm sure you're probably thinking on this hair, I'm going to duplicate this just so I have it. Make it gray, turn it off. Save this. Back to here. Continue my brushing. Let you guys judge all you want right now. I'm kind of excited. I'm not kind of excited. I'm a lot I don't think you know guys know what I'm going to do next, which is the best part. That guy's doing a really crappy job masking that out, huh? Barbed wire hair, that is right, sir. We don't judge here either. I mean, you can't judge. Now you can judge. You gotta be like, oh man, this guy's really bad at this. He's giving a master class? Masking out hair? This guy is horrible. You really gonna do this? What is he thinking? He can't be serious. I think for here I'm gonna go 90. Make it even harder. I love that you have no idea what I'm going to do next. This is the best part. Oh, you can put a triangle in there, a little hard angle in there. He's not following his own rules about masking, but just using the shape of the brush, clicking and dragging. Why is he doing that? What is he building in there? Tom Waits would say, what is he building in there? I don't know. It's looking pretty bad. Think people will be able to tell that our hair is cut out? I'm concerned. I'm really starting to be concerned. Is this torture? It feels like torture, or at least that it should be torture, right? Feel the judging coming. It is weird that I'm looking right at her. I just looked at my broadcast screen, staring right at her. Hey, Kelsey, how's it going? Thanks for letting me do this. You're gonna be all over Behance, all over the interwebs. I will be offering up these layered files to the subscribers, all 2 of you. Thanks, Rob. Whoever else did. Oh no, did we just glitch? I think we did. I got a brush. It's not giving it back to me, so I have to close this. What happens is it gets stuck and it won't let me do anything to it, which is crazy. All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna turn this glow off, curves off. Just be us. Actually, start working in the field. They will have you masking things starting out. I mean, you can. It's. I guess it's important. Yeah, it's important. The way you mask things, or masking things out, is important. But it's the stuff that they don't teach you. You can't learn. I don't know if they teach this stuff in school. To be honest, they didn't teach me this in school. I had to teach myself. Let's see something over here. You're gonna judge, but this is starting to look pretty good to me. Depends on where you land a job, right? So I want to start out by saying one thing that I always keep in mind. People aren't going to miss what they can't see. So when this image gets published, people can't see what you had shot originally, right? They can't see the image. feel like we should do a challenge. If somebody can do this better than me, a different way, there should be an award. Challenge you to a mask-off. It's like, this is gonna take forever, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. How much time am I gonna put into masking somebody's hair out, right? So a lot of this stuff I had learned with movie posters. And with movie posters, you get a lot. I have to have Vicus on here because my friend Vicus does a lot of movie poster stuff. But you deal with a lot of images of various resolutions. You're dealing with stock. You're dealing with people on different backgrounds, things like that. This is even kind of, I feel like, still in black, but you're not going to know as much, right? So I'm going to duplicate this because I've already started it. I'm going to come here. I delete my layer mask. So one of the clearly did a newbie thing. Go on here. So I'm gonna this is why, perfect example of why we keep originals of stuff. So this is the first layer mask. I'm gonna delete that. Control click, mask this. I can get rid of this because I messed up by actually putting a brush on the actual image. This is this one, right? Yeah. So we'll delete that. Control J, delete layer mask. We'll go over the various ways that Photoshop has that you can mask stuff, right? So they have your magic. Well, the first thing we saw was the selection tool, right? Show me the. Sorry, I just gotta make sure I'm not getting hired for something, and then I don't answer the phone. All right. So there's you have the object selection tool, which we did, right? It does this. Not ideal, right? Control D. Then you have your magic wand tool, which it's actually all right for this, right? This. I'll turn these off so you don't see this. Command I. Selection. You end up with all this stuff out, which I would have had to brush out with this anyways. But we'll keep this copy just so we have it. So I'll label this one magic wand. Right, that's the one we have. So I'm gonna delete this layer mask again. This was the quick selection or object selection tool. So another thing we have, turn this off. So this is, oops. Did I really apply that? What happened here? Dear baby Jesus, what happened? Do the magic wand tool. We masked this one out. Masked this one out. So we had this version. I inversed it. We enable this one magic wand. And we have this one was the one that I brushed out by hand. This one was the object selection. So we'll duplicate this. Right, we'll delete this layer mask. You can see what else we have, right? So we've done the magic wand. Now you have select, and then you have color range, right? So I can select on sampled colors, right? And then I get to choose my fuzziness. So I'm going to do here. And then I can go to this one to select like our next kind of showing up in here, right? Or this. Only One color selected. The further distance selection. What if we just do? Doesn't it show me a preview? You want to add stuff? So if I back up here, add this, right? So it's not. The problem is the color of her hair is inside. I don't want to get rid of her body, but I feel like it's connected in there. So let's see if I can. Let me use this scroller thing. So if I go, this is here. Now it's adding more of the background, right? So these are just some of the dilemmas of what's going on with this particular tool. So let's see if I can do this. Go back to adding here. We've got in this area, right? We can adjust the fuzziness. Even if this was just to get the edge of the hair, right? Add a little bit more out here. On this side. Click OK. It gives me this mask, right? I go Q brush. I want to add to it. Kind of do this bits here. So I'm in a quick mask now. I've used their quick selection using the background area. This. See, I've done this, right? Here. Let's curve out. Fill this in. We've got the edge of her body there. But still, you know, her skin's falling off there. It's not best. I'll still have to go through and hand do that, right? This here. And if I zoom in, you're gonna see I'm getting most of the hair there, right? Looks like it's in there. So when I hit Q and I go mask, so we're gonna call this one. I'll just hit mask on this. Invert. This one, like color selection. Right. Okay. Color selection. So we've got that one. So we've got this one. We'll go ahead and brush in too, so you can see the difference on that. This is the magic wand. And give me some of these pieces in here, but you know, overall, a little kind of a mess, right? So we'll go back out here. We'll fill this in. So to me, it's kind of, they're all using, to me, and I don't know. I don't work at Adobe, but to me, all these techniques are using the same algorithm, but just using different ways of getting. Now, if I had a solid colored background, maybe it would have been a little easier. I shot this on black in my studio. You know, maybe that would have been the way to go. If I go lasso here and just kind of pick this out, just basically fill this, select the inverse, option delete, Control D. So that's kind of, you know, my magic wandish area. Maybe I can turn this mask off, go here, go W and select here, see if it gives me, no, well, turn this back on, go brush outside of this here. Oh, it's on the brush. It's on the healing tool. That was weird. So yeah, so I've got some stuff here, but I'm gonna have to go back and then rebrush in, you know, her legs and stuff. You know, so that's all right. But you know, nobody's hair looks like that, right? So that's the magic wand. So I'm gonna duplicate this one. Control D, Control J. Check this out again here. Turn that one on. This was the color selection. We'll delete the mask here. I wonder if I think there's one more here. I can do select focus area. Well, we can do subject, right? So this thing figures out where the subject is based on what you've selected, right? Or what the person is. You can do, so this is select that was subject. So we'll mask that. It's actually pretty good. I have never tried that one. It's actually not bad. Hey, Adobe, nice job. I didn't actually tried that one. That looks pretty good. It's still, the funkiness about this is, let's see, let's get down here. Are you guys impressed like I am? I'm kind of impressed a little bit. This might be where I start. I'm gonna hit Q here. Zoom in here. There's a few funkified things going on here. For the most part, I mean, that's a pretty damn good. This is using a different algorithm than the other ones are. I did a really good job, guys. I'm actually impressed. I'm gonna have to start with this version and part of my own. It kind of brings in transparency there, but you wouldn't necessarily have transparency on that per se. I want to see how much. Well, let me turn this off. I think we're done. I'm just kidding. I would never do that to you. But that's pretty good there. I'm actually pretty impressed. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go back to my Lightroom version here. And I'm going to take the I believe this, I'm going to reset everything on here. I had done, I'm just going to kind of bring out like, let's just got information and everything here. I want my highlights in there. I'm trying to get more hair, and I'm wondering by bringing up the highlights if it'll give me more information on that particular masking technique. Guys, that's pretty good. So duplicate this. Go create virtual copy. Guys, I'm impressed. I hate to say it. I was ready to be the hater on Adobe, and I got showed up, yo. I got showed up. So I'm just gonna do this. Actually, I'm gonna kind of bring her skin tones down a little bit. So they look more natural. Oh, there we go. Because the other one I have these tones and stuff on them are grading, which you don't need. So I'm gonna export these. Use unique names. We'll go back to the bridge here. And we'll open up these here, which should be this and this. These, normally, you know, I would label the layers and do the thing, but this is demo. We're winging it. Bring this in here as a folder. To the tips there. Control 0 F. I'm gonna see if this one gives me better. I go select subject. Doing its thing, man. Go, go, go. Mask. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna go, this is subject light. So what I'm gonna do is take this one that I got, which is like my normal non-graded image, right? Yeah. Turn that off. I want to see what it did exactly. So it's a little, this is actually a pretty good start. So this will actually help what my main objective will end up being here, but it gives you a little bit more information maybe. Let's see. If I go here, unlink that, we'll go filter or select subject. Do a mask. See if that's any better or different than what we had done here. I don't notice any difference necessarily, but there is the true test, right? Which is to drop it on white. So that's the other thing about this stuff, is if you want to thicken things, you can always duplicate it. See, you start to get this, you're basically going to kind of end up where you were with the magic wand. So we'll do this subject base exposure, which is pretty good. But let's see what it looks like on white, right? Turn on our graded version. Not really a massive difference. I mean, to me, it kind of looks like the messy, but I mean, it looks all right. Like if I were to throw this glow on here, this looks this glow on here, like this looks pretty good. It's close. I mean, you can tell it's messy, and it doesn't look like it did it as the way that it was shot, but this is pretty. And then we'll go to gray here, and this will kind of give me a little bit more detail. There's some funkifiedness in here. So the part that bothers me, and that doesn't make this to me like truly perfect, is that you have this transparency that's starting to have this little glow around the edges. And if you look at the way that she was originally shot, I'll turn this off so you guys know what that. Like shift click here, you don't have a glow around her hair. Nobody has glow around their hair. Like we'll look right here. Cool. Now I can be critical of this thing because it's not perfect, but it's close. See you lose some of the detail, which is fine. You know, we don't need it to be perfect, but it kind of gives you a slight transparency of glow. But I think this is a good place to start ish. Maybe we'll kind of mask out around this and paint this back in. But I do like what it's done, and this might actually work better on the versions where we're slightly out of focus. Look at my time here and see how we're doing. 12:30. So the next version we're gonna do is this is the light. I'm gonna put this subject and then call this subject graded. This is just a grade I'd been messing around with. We'll do color grading another day, hopefully with a special guest. So we'll duplicate this. Okay. Delete the layer mask. And this time we'll do select focus area. Looks like we get to choose focus area. Yeah, this is going to be rough. Advanced. Okay, so they give me the option of like noise levels. So this is going to try to do something, but not really do it. I think the problem being that we shot, at 3.5, I believe. So it's not really. I'm not even going to use this as an option. Let's see what else they got here. Filter, select, subjects, guys, select and mask, edit and quick mask mode, load selection. So it's basically the kind of options you've got. And so far it looks like just subject, which is amazing. Let's see what this does. Select and mask. Show edge. Color aware, object aware. Radius. Global requirements. stuff I've never done. Size 13, select subject. Fine here. Oh, so this is interesting. So this is giving you the option of selecting your subject using subject select, and then remember that one is select subject. I'm trying to see shift edge contrast. There we go. Now because it's on black, I can't really tell. Transparency. Let's see here. Show original. All right. High quality preview. I guess this is just telling me like where it's going to select it. So curious. So I just selected an area to add or subtract. I see what it does. Object aware radius. It's loading. This is the fine edge brush. I'm just going to click OK right now and see what it does. It's basically done. So I'll play with that a little bit more on my own, see if we can get a better outcome. But I see what it's trying to do. So it's basically taken, if I go to the subject base exposure, which is subject selection, and then turn it off and on, kind of seeing the same exact thing. Maybe just slightly more transparent. But so this one, I'm going to label green because this was our best bet so far. I think in terms of all of our selection options, it was just a lighter version of the image. This was our color selection. This was Magic Wand. This was by hand. So I think what I'm going to do is just put myself at an advantage because why not? Get rid of this one. Put this color grade. Actually, let me just duplicate this curves here. Put this color grade. Its own folder. Turn it off. Call it gray. Turn that off. Call it gray. All right. Here's our main thing here. And what I'll do. I'm gonna go back. Where am I? That's the grade. That up here. My curves. I'll look into the different backgrounds here. So this is straight black, which is interesting. We have our environment that we created. Cool. With that said, take a little bathroom break, and I'll be back to show you exactly how this is done. And we're back. So Chelsea. That was horrible. Called her a wrong name. Any questions so far? Oh, when am I actually going to start doing the masking? Good question. Now, so like I'd shown you before, so I'm going to turn this off here just so we have our original. Okay, so my original go to my brush, make sure it's on hard. We're here. I'm going to go Control G. I'm actually going to take the one that was the that was actually kind of nice. That's crazy. So my by hand kind of gives you an idea of where the shapes were. All right, so I'm gonna label this yellow if it lets me. Okay. Let's go back to later. Go to my folder. I'm gonna hit mask, brush out. Start small, but this will actually get me the most accurate outcomes. What it is I'm trying to do. Are you ready? Here's the big secret. So you don't want the flyaways. You want the most natural looking. I don't like the little pieces that stick out. Because you want clean, retouched hair, cut out, looking as best as it possibly can. Right? I feel like that's the ultimate goal that we've all agreed upon. Make sure my curves are off. All right, so that's masked off. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to label this one. Put this behind her. Hair, new layer, brush. I'm going to take this brush, make sure my caps lock is off. I'm going to sample this here. I'm going to come. I have different types. I'm going to go to these other brushes here. I've got brushes that I've made look like hair, right? So I've got these hoops here. Oh, let me go to my other brushes here, brush presets. So got this hairline circle here. Go back to my brush presets settings. I'm going to go to shape dynamics here. I'm going to go to angle jitter. You can see it starts to overlap a little bit. Change the roundness jitter a little bit. This is where the stuff, and then the scattering. With the scatter, I want it to both axes. Count. We can increase the count. More like the hair that she has. Count jitter, that's fine. Go back to shape next, and I want this minimum roundness. X. Where's the round angle? Size jitter. Pen pressure. I don't know why it's giving me. Just do a fade. Nope. Apparently it's really big. Make it smaller. I'm going to fix this part here. I'll show you guys how to do this so that way you can do it when you do it. rather than having to do it from a preset brush. Selected here. I'm at 100% opacity for now. I'm just going to start brushing this in. So the key to hair, cutting it out, is just get rid of it and then draw on your own, right? We're going to get a few of these in here. This back area here. Kind of this main, what this main area is for. There we go. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually come in here. I have these other ones, but they're not going to work for this because this is more for. I'm trying to think here. Let's see if I have this. It was 9060. I have a longer one. I don't think I do. I believe this is a preset like grass blade that comes with Photoshop. With the 70. I don't want to flip axes on this. I want them all in the same direction. I want a little less angle jitter. I can change my shape dynamic. I think I can come in. Yeah, so this will give me more of an arc. And I'll rotate this to kind of match the hair. Using the brush. This isn't working as much because I have to play with the angle. Of the hair. Just keep rotating it until I get it right, which can be frustrating. Sometimes this works. But it's really meant for shorter hair. Right? Super duper trick is make a new layer. This is what you've all been waiting for. Go to my main hard brush here. Where is it? Make this smaller. You ready for it? Sample here. You're just going to draw it in. That's it. Just draw the hair in. After you've cut it out, just draw it in the way you want it. I'm currently at 50. But I can make it darker, so I'll make a new layer. Click here, go 60. Just start getting the hair in there. Now you're probably thinking like, oh, there's various thicknesses and curls and stuff like that. This is true. Go here, I'm gonna go my mask and get rid of some of the stuff that I've made here. Make a new layer, and this is usually the way I do this. Is I just kind of go in and make. Is this a 1 pixel? It is. 60. I'm just brushing her hair in. My Wacom pen. Sometimes what I'll do is she's got like light, dark, light, dark. I'll make a new layer, like the lighter stuff, and brush that in there too. One thing you can do is, say I want to do a big area over here. I'll select here. And a little bigger. Usually I try to stick with going in the direction that the hair is going. Right? It all kind of looks like the same color. This is live. That is correct. I'm here. You can ask me questions if you'd like to. SpaceX. We're doing this, right? Put this in here. Got a whole bunch of it. Let's make another layer. A few more of these wispies in here. We'll get a few out of place. Oh, that one's too out of place. Like that, right? I'm coming back here. I'm gonna make a new layer. Control Shift N. Control Alt G. Brush. I'll come back into my feathered one. I can't believe I was using that one. I really want to be using my brushes. The brush that I made. Main soft. What I'll do is I'll shrink this size, go up here. Take the lightest part of the hair. I'll go even lighter with it. I'm clipped to this layer underneath, right? I can just brush this. I'll go 30% here. I can just brush the lighter part in there. Notice the top of her hair is taking some of the. We're starting to see some separation, so I can take some of the lighter colors and just lighten that in there. Now you're probably thinking, man, that looks super sharp, right? You're asking, can you vary thickness of pen pressure? My pen pressure is 100%. Or no, so when I was drawing that, I was using 50 to 60%. Because if I'm 100%, it just looks like a giant hard line, right? So I brought some of that color into here. And then, sorry guys, newborn. I'll be right back. But you know where I'm going with this. Just take a look at what I did. And just like that, we're on baby duty. So somebody's a little under the weather. Okay. Okay. Bottles in the mouth, and we're on. Here we go. So we added some of the color that was here to kind of match that. And I'm gonna go back to the stuff that I had drawn in. Got some of the stuff here, just like that. Here. Here, I've never done this. It's been a while since I've done this with a kid. Foot. Some of that stuff there. Stuff here. Okay, so actually I can do another layer here. Control Alt G. Brush this color in. Kind of match that. See how it's coming together there? We got in here this stuff too. Alt G. Brush that in there. So everything's kind of matching what we had brushed in there. Now, what I'm going to do is just to give you an idea here. Take this and this. Control G. And I'm going to do Control Alt E. And it's on its own layer now, right? So the other thing is you can see I can duplicate that and it'll make it thicker. So I can actually take this and drop the opacity if I want it to increase the thickness, decrease the thickness. That's why I think it's always better to just kind of drop this at an opacity anyways. It's both good and bad, Christina. I'm both happy and torn at the same time. So now that I've done that, we'll keep that at 100%. I'll turn this one off because it's my original. Grade that one out. And I'm just going to come in here. Remember our little blur tool over here? We're going to take that. We're going to go 10%. Make it bigger. Ooh. 10. See, just a little bit of that. All of a sudden, we're literally just like the stuff that was already there. If I go back to my original, right, it's just the color I had. What the hell happened here? Hey, yo. I accidentally brushed stuff. Somebody needs to be burped, so we're just going to kind of work this out for a second. All right. Okay, I think I did another one of these where I drew onto the back here. There we go. That's what we were looking for. You guys heard that, right? That was right on cue. Good? I just want to see bounce for a bit. All right, where was I? Just the back. What am I missing here? Is this part where, yeah, this is the part where I had brushed. This might not work, guys. All right, so this is where I had. Yeah, so that's where I had brushed out the original model stuff here. Go back and see all of our flyaways. This was basically %. It looks like there's going to be a part 2, guys. Fortunately, I don't have to call this one here. And I'll be back later to go over how to finish the rest of this. I apologize. Thanks for sticking it out.